Good morning. Let's wait for people to get here. There y'all are. Good morning. It is been raining since midnight last night. My dogs will not go out and go to the bathroom. I'm like, I feel you. And I'm thinking in my head, okay, so like yesterday, I left at 10 o'clock yesterday morning. I did not get home till 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Then, don't you love it when your husband goes, "What's for dinner?" Dude, I've been gone all day. You taking me to dinner. So we went to Buffalo's last night. We usually go to Buffalo's on Tuesday nights because they're buy one, get one free. And so it's almost like I get a day off from cooking, and Shane has lunch for the next day. So he'll buy 10, get 10 free, and take the 10. So we got home last night and Dee Dee was mooing. There was no hay. So when there's no hay, Dee Dee is mooing at the top of her lungs. Moo! Moo! Like, hello, does anybody care that we have no hay? So in the rain last night, Shane had to take hay out there, and I put the animals to bed, and I feed at night. And so I wished I would have put hay in the barn for all the animals because it's going to rain all day, but I didn't. I didn't because I was tired. So now, yay, I get to go out in the rain, and it looks a little something like this. So I talk about getting square bales all the time and still hadn't done it. And so out in the pasture is this thing that Shane made. I call it a hay loft. I know it's not, but that's just what I call it. So I have to go out there, grab a bunch of hay, run to the alpaca stall, run back to the hay loft, grab a bunch of hay, take it to the sheeps, go back, grab a bunch of hay, take it to the goats. Meanwhile, I'm drenched and have mud up to my waist. And I said, Judy, this is your fault. You should have done this last night. But no, your butt was lazy and didn't do it. So these are the results of Judy from doing this. So that's what I get to do when we get off here. I do want to tell you that I found a new drink. So it's Propel. The good thing about Propel is it has electrolytes. So when you're sweating your butt off, it kind of replenishes it. But this is called Pineapple Peach. Wait, hang on. I'm gonna try it with y'all on the phone on live. Okay, but first I'm gonna OD on my Celtic salt. Oh, I better not say that. I'm taking my Celtic salt. I'm a kidder and I say things I shouldn't say. Okay. I feel like when I was a kid, if I had a sore throat, my grandmother used to make me gargle salt water. That was her remedy for a sore throat. And when I take the Celtic salt, it brings me back to childhood, remembering her making me gargle with salt water. Okay. Now to try this. Propel, pineapple, and peach. It may not taste good after Celtic salt. I like pineapple. I like it. I'm just going to sit here on my live and drink pineapple peach Propel. It's nice little refresher. Okay, because it's pouring down rain all day. There's no sense in curling my hair. I'm getting lazy. I'm getting really lazy as the summer goes on because it's hot, rainy, and I have naturally curly hair, and my hair becomes little orphan Annie when I go outside. So I am going to be a slick back. Cynthia would be proud. Um, Cynthia is the chick that told me I had cheese ball hair. So I named my hair after her. It's not Cynthia that's on here right now. I don't even know the Cynthia's last name. I just know her name was Cynthia, and she said that I should not be filming with cheesy hair. So I said, okay. Sorry, I'm a cheese ball. All right. So I'm taking my glasses off. And so when I take my glasses off, I become blind. I can't read comments. So Kayla and Chris are here to answer any questions. So if y'all have any questions, I do read comments though. When it's all over, I sit here and scroll up and read comments. So blind, completely blind. We're going to talk about yesterday. Hang on, where is I'm still using Cowbell's moisturizer. I do like it. It doesn't make my face oily at all, which is unusual. All right, yesterday, okay, I've told you a little bit about this lady, but I don't know. It's like sometimes we have new people and they don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to say the whole thing to lead up to where I'm going. So if you've heard this story, bear with us because we need to talk to the new people, right? All right. So I was scrolling through Facebook, I don't know, and this farm kept popping up on my Facebook. You know how that happens? You're like, who's this? Why does her name keep popping up? Facebook does that to people. I mean, like, so when like I used to see Black Tropical, like their thing would pop up constantly. And I showed Sherry, I said, look what Facebook is doing to your, it's constantly showing me everything. And then it just started showing me Red Bird Willow Farm. And I was like, who is this? And anytime there's another petting zoo, even if they're in another state, I'm just curious about them because I'm just like, it's like I feel like petting zoos need to connect because it's so hard. So she kept popping up. So I followed her. And what I admired most about her was her story because I went and read her story. And her story is she lost her son to suicide. And I thought, oh my gosh. So she lost her son to suicide, and the suicide happened on her property. So, and she has, I don't know how many acres. So it was obviously devastating because she walked up on it. And so she decided to turn her property into something good. So she put a big old huge cross, it's huge cross at where he passed away. And I forgot the story why she wasn't an animal person. I mean, she's an animal person, but she was kind of like me, city girl, never thought about getting animals a day in her life. But I think this is a story. I hope that I have it right. But she got some goats to clear the property, because goats eat everything. So, and then she was finding herself going out to the goats and finding comfort in the goats from healing from her son's loss. And so she started getting more animals, and lo and behold, she became a petting zoo. And she's a lot like me. Now, she's not nonprofit, but she goes into libraries. She just recently wrote a children's book about Justin, which is her son. And she holds, how where my goal is for sober living and places to come to Sneed's Farmhouse and group homes. Well, hers is for grieving parents. So often she has meetings at her house for parents that have lost their kids. And so she kind of just holds their hand and guides them through the loss. And that touched me. I mean, I've had in the past, I've had petting zoos that go, well, I retired and got bored, so I just decided to open a petting zoo. Well, that's not very touching, or hey, I wanted to retire from nursing, so I thought I would make money doing a petting zoo. That's not touching. I mean, like, but her story touched my life. And so I said, I have to go meet her. I have to go meet her. So I messaged her and I said, hey, I have a petting zoo too, and I'm 2 hours away from you, but I want to come meet you because we have a lot in common. And so I went to meet her, and me and her sat in a rocking chair in front of her country store, and we shared stories. And we both bawled our eyes out together, talking about addiction and how hard it is. And you know, so many people don't understand addiction, and there's judgment upon them. But when you're a family member watching your loved one that was thriving become like the drug takes them over, you realize that at that point, it's not a choice. And so, going through that myself and her going through that, we were able to talk about the clarity of if someone recovers from addiction, they're a freaking rock star. I mean, and when I meet people that are in recovery and have been recovered for 10 plus years, I'm like, they're amazing to me. I just look at them, I'm like, how? Because, like, little stuff like me overcoming my uh, screwed up head about eating disorder and being fat and all that crap, I can't control it. Like, I have been in therapy since '06, and I cannot stop it. Like, it consumes me sometimes, and I'm like, how did you, like, when I sit there and watch them clean, I'm like, and then they start their own recovery center, I'm like, those are my heroes. like like it is not someone like those people are just like Michelle that started Red Bird Willow. I'm like, she's my hero. Like, to overcome losing a child and turning something bad and detrimental and like depressing into something good is amazing. I remember back when Vance and my youngest son was in high school, one of the children in his group that was his friend, like, she came to our house. She was on the tennis team and she was very active, and um she started having pain in her foot. And to make a long story short, she ended up having cancer and she passed away in high school. And her mom went from that to starting a nonprofit to raise money for this type cancer, that because it's a very rare cancer and it's not talked about a lot. So her mom started this um, nonprofit, and she raises money for the cancer. And I'm like, that is dancing. When you have drastic things happen in your life, like losing your child, and try to spread awareness or try to heal yourself through giving back, that's what I call dancing. Not sitting at home, just grieving yourself to freaking death because you've lost your child, but trying to make a difference in someone else's life. That is people that I admire. That is that is the most strongest mother ever to me. And so, as I sat on the porch with Michelle talking to her, and we both just opened up about our experiences with addiction and so forth. And she told me the whole story. You know, I told her what my goals were for my farm, and she told me what her, and I was like, I will support her forever. Like, she is wonderful. So she, oftentimes she'll have like this week she had a camp for children, and she'll ask for me to come support her or just sponsor. She'll say, will you sponsor this grievance? And like, I pay $250 for my name to be at the, and I always sponsor. I say yes, because I believe in her mission. If I have the opportunity to help her and help her grow, I'm doing it. So she asked me, she's having this camp this week for the children, and she asked me to come read my book and do my little performance and all that stuff. And I was like, absolutely. So yesterday, this is coming out in my YouTube video tomorrow, but I'll just give you a little insight. But Willis Jr., which is my white rabbit, at the end of my YouTube videos, I'm standing there in an orange short shirt with a big old fluffy rabbit. And I've posted it on Facebook too. That's the rabbit I'm talking about. And I've had him for 3 or 4 years. And he has lost a tremendous amount of weight. And I wormed him, and I thought he was getting better. And then, night before last, he kept falling over. And I said, Shane, I've got to take him to the vet. Something's wrong. So yesterday morning, I had to go to Michelle's, which is a 2-hour drive one way. I had to leave my house at 10 o'clock. So needless to say, I was at the vet yesterday at 8 o'clock in the morning. Actually, I was there at 7:30 so I could be the first patient that got in, so I could get out in time to get in the car to go to Michelle's. I'm not going to tell you what happened with the rabbit. You'll have to watch my video. Look at me being strong and not telling y'all the situation. Normally, I'm a big mouth and tell y'all, but watch for my video tomorrow to uncover what happened with the rabbit. But anyway, so I got through on time, got in the car, drove to her farm, and I will say it was a nice little drive because I was, in the car for 2 hours there and 2 hours back, and it was time for me to be by myself and to kind of unwind. And if you've followed me for a long time, you know that majority of my ideas come when I'm in the car. When I'm in the car and turn the radio up full blast, it's like God speaks to me. I don't know. I can rest my mind and not worry about Larry or my kids or whatever. I can actually focus on what the mission is for my farm and what I need to be doing with my farm. So it was an opportunity for me to really think about the education center and what I'm trying to go for, because what is happening with the education center is not what it was started for. I started the education center thinking that I would bring all my tours and all my field trips in the education center. But what's happening is something totally different. It's like God's laying on my heart something. I see meetings in there because I've spent a lot of money in my education center. And so I've got to figure out, what is this education center for? Like, what needs to be happening? So that 2-hour drive was an opportunity for me to really go, God, open my heart. What am I supposed to be doing with this? I want healing to happen in my education center. What do you want me to do? So it was time for me and God to just talk. So I got to Michelle's, And I knew ahead of time. First, I thought there was 20 kids there because she put a limit to who could come to the camp. So I got there and there was only 10 kids. And I'm going to tell you, I get stressed out when it's just small group. I know you would think it would be the complete opposite. You would think I would get stressed out when there's 300 people, but I don't. I'm comfortable with 350 people. I get severely stressed out when there's 10 kids in front of me. I make no sense. I make absolutely no sense. But I looked at Michelle because I was looking at the kids there, and there was like 6 boys over here and like 4 girls. And I was thinking, this is not going well. This is not going to go well. These boys are not going to dance with me. There's only 10 people here. There's no way these boys are going to get up and dance with me. And I was thinking in my head was spinning going, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? These kids are not going to dance with me. And I actually went up to Michelle and I said, this may not go well. Because some kids are not brought up reading. They're brought up on an iPad or a phone or a TV. So they're not every kid wants to sit and listen to someone read a book. And you can tell, like, I've been in enough libraries and I've been around enough kids that I can tell what parents read to their children. I can tell. And the kids that like can't pay attention, I'm thinking in my head, either maybe the kids are like, maybe I'm boring. Either I'm just straight up boring, or they're not read to a lot, or they hate reading, or they're sitting here in front of an iPad like this all day long. You can tell. As a matter of fact, one of my best friends, I won't say her by name, is a teacher. And I go, because sometimes when there's like 2 and 3-year-olds in front of me, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a teacher. And I'm like, I don't know how to get them to pay attention to me. Like, I don't know how to do it. And so me and her sat and talked about, like, maybe I bring a puppet out and read the book with my puppet. So like, and even with kids with autism, like they're totally different too, because they don't like loud, I'm loud. I'm a big mouth and I'm very dramatic. So like sometimes kids with autism can't handle me. So I had to find the happy medium. And because I don't really have experience teaching, being around kids, I hated reading when I was a kid. So like I get those kids. I'm like, I get you. You don't want to pay attention to me. I totally get you. You're ready to go to the farm. So I'm having to learn all this. And so I rely on teachers to tell me how to do this. So I told Michelle, I said, listen, this may not go well. This may not go well at all. There's always 10 kids and majority of them are boys. They are not going to get up and dance with me. And I said, and I was just like, I had anxiety. I was like, I'm going to get up here and totally bomb this. And I was like, how do I engage these boys to do this? And I felt the same way sometimes I feel with y'all, because I'm thinking, there's 77 people here. How do I get them to pay attention to me? How do I teach these 77 people that are here at 7 o'clock in the morning drinking coffee? How do I get them to pay attention to me to teach them how to dance? Sometimes I feel it with you. I'm not going to lie. Even though you're not children, I'm like, how do I teach them how not to sit it out? How do I teach them the meaning of the word dance and the meaning of the word sitting it out? And the only way I know to teach you is to tell you real life situations that are happening to me and how I'm able to overcome those to get to the point where I'm smiling and I'm not sitting on the couch and I'm not crying and I'm not depressed and I'm not like wishing I wasn't here and overeating and like all the negative things that happen to every one of us. I try to show you I'm not on this pedestal. I am a total train wreck. Okay. And I tell you that I'm a train wreck and I am not, uh, I don't have it all figured out. But I do feel like together we can do this together. You know, God always talks in the Bible. It says two or more, when two or more are gathered in his name. I feel like that with us, when there's 77 people here and we go, I'm a train wreck, you a train wreck, she's a train wreck, and he's a train wreck. He's a train wreck. But let's figure out how to do this together. So I sat there, my head was spinning. I'm like, I don't want to do this. There's only 10 people and 6 boys. No, they're not going to dance with me. So I thought in my head, God, whatever's supposed to happen, happen. So I knew that I needed them to know who I was first. So I got there a little early. So I went around to the children. I'm like, what was your favorite animal? And, you know, the little kids were like, a kitty cat. My kitty cat was my favorite. That makes me laugh. You're at a farm with alpacas and kangaroos and tortoises and cows, and her favorite animal is a kitty cat. As a matter of fact, there were 3 people and their favorite animal was a kitty cat. And so this one little boy, I'm going to say he was probably 4 years old. He was sitting like this. And I said, what was your favorite? Nothing. I was like, oh God, there's a sourpuss. And I said, there wasn't one favorite animal. No, I'm not having a good time. This is boring to me. I mean, this kid was probably 4 years old. And I'm thinking, here's my anxiety going even higher, going, these jokers are not fixing to train wreck this. So I tried to ask him questions to get him to engage with me, to get him to understand who I was. And I said, hey, I heard there's a kangaroo here. Did you get to see the kangaroo? Yes. And I was like, what's the kangaroo's name? I said, that's the reason I'm here is because I want to see the kangaroo. So I got him engaged in talking to me so that he realized that he could be himself. Like if he wanted to sit it out, that's fine. But let's figure out, every morning I wake up, sometimes I put on a different pair of dancing shoes. Sometimes I am full of energy and I can put on my running shoes and I'm just good. And there's times when I'm like, okay, the shoes that are going on these feet are freaking house shoes. I ain't getting out of my house shoes today. It's different. So I was trying to allow him to have the emotion he was feeling, which was, it's boring. I don't want to be here. And I was like, he don't feel like it today. And that's okay. Because there's days I don't feel like it. So I went to the next person. And that person was, my favorite animal was the alpaca. And I'm like, tell me what he did to you. Were you able to touch the alpaca? What color was it? So I was going to each one of them. And then there was this other kid. He wasn't a complete sourpuss like the 4-year-old, but he was the kid. How do I put him? He had the little skateboarder hair and he had this shirt on about Biden. I can't remember what it said. And he was kind of like the tough guy. Like that's the kind of attitude he was giving me. Like you're dumb. Like, why are you talking to me? That kind of attitude. I was thinking, oh my God, this is going to be awful. She's going to wish that she never asked me to come here. I couldn't get him to really engage with me. I was asking questions, trying to get him to engage with me. And I thought in my head, this must be how a psychiatrist feels when they're talking to a patient and can't pull anything out of them. Like, they like, and I hate to say this, but like my dad, it's awful. The nurses treat me terrible. This isn't the place you think it is. They feed me a cheese and bread sandwich with nothing on it, just cheese and bread. And I'm over here going, there's nothing good. Like the people are not, like there's nothing, you can't find anything good. And I thought I was able to get in those shoes and go, okay, there's nothing good about this farm. The animals are a train wreck. It's boring. And when I got there, they were all sitting around eating a popsicle, and I'm like, the popsicle ain't good. Like, there's nothing good about today. So I kept going. And then she was like, okay, Judy, you can start. And I'm thinking, there was like a lump right here in my throat. And I was like, dear Jesus, please give me the strength to get through this day, because this is fixing to be awful. And I'm fixed to come up here by myself and dance and act a total idiot. And these kids are going to be staring at me like, what is this lady's name? So I always play Simon Says with them, because if I tell them they're going to dance, ain't any of them getting up. So I've learned that lesson. You cannot say, okay, we're fixing to dance because my dream was to live in New York. No, you cannot say that. So I told them all to get up. I said, get up. We're going to play a game. They were excited. So I was like, oh, I'm doing good. Okay, we're doing good. And so I said, the name of my children's book is It Takes Two to Make a Thing Go Right. And normally I start making them scream two in the middle of the song, but I knew that I was not going to get them to engage with me with that. I needed to get them to yell two and get their heart rates up and get their adrenaline flowing to get them to pay attention to me. So I held up the book and I said, the name of my children's book is It Takes Two to Make a Farm Go Right. And I went, how many? And they just sat there. I said, how many? Two. And I'm like, I want to see who's the loudest. Okay. On three, I want you to yell two. 1, 2, 3. And they start yelling at the top of their lungs too. And I'm like, yes, that's what I started praising them. I was like, yes. And I was high-fiving. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. High five. You're the loudest. And so I got them all engaged. And so I played Simon Says with them and told them if they played Simon Says with me, I would give them a prize. I was bribing them. I was like, I'll give you all. I brought prizes. I brought 3 prizes. And I will give you 3 prizes if you play a game with me. And so I go. And let me back up. The one skateboarder hair guy wouldn't even get up and play Simon Says with me. And I said, you don't want to play? No. Because, I'm going to guess he was probably 10. He was one of the older kids. So he thought it was stupid. That's a kid game. I ain't playing Simon Says. I said, okay, well, you can sit right here. So then, okay, the prizes that I brought is I brought my children's book. I brought everybody a children's book. And I bought these little eggs that are shakers. Okay, I bought them from the music store. And I thought it was perfect for the kids that don't want to dance. And I don't always use those eggs because usually I can get kids to dance with me. So, but I knew there was going to be a small crowd. So I'm like, I better pull out the shakers. So they were all different colored eggs and they were shaker. So I went up to the little kid, the 10-year-old, and I said, listen, I want you to hold this egg. And I just want you to shake it. Well, I don't know why, but when you shake this egg, it's kind of fun. I don't know why. And I have been successful with children when they hold that egg and they don't want to. I said, you don't have to dance, but I don't want you to sit it out. So all I want you to do is shake the egg because you're dancing if you just shake the egg. And they'll do it. So anyway, so here comes It Takes Two to Make a Thing Go Right. And the song play, I'm like, there's something you need to know about your Aunt Judy. She likes to have fun. I say that in the beginning. And I'm thinking, oh, Lord. So then I said, I tell them, let me back up. When they play Simon Says, I usually get them to act like an animal. And they usually have fun with it because they want to win the game. So they usually are really good at it. Like when I tell them to act like a pig, they're on the ground acting like a pig. And they all did this, but that one little boy was sitting it out. So I'm going to just tell you, when I see one kid like that, I'm like, buddy, I'm finna win. I'm after you. Like I am after you. If I could see y'all right now, like for example, this is how I feel. Now, don't let me step on your toes. Just listen to me. Are you that 10-year-old? There's 80 something people, 84 people here. Are you that kid that sits it out? Are you that kid that just sits there and watches and doesn't comment and doesn't get involved with the other people? Because I view you as a 10-year-old that's there, that's watching, but they're not engaging. They're standing behind the screens going, okay, I'm listening, but I ain't getting involved. I'm just sitting it out. But I'm dancing because I'm here. And you are dancing. If you're here, you're dancing. If you're on this live, you're in the step for the right direction. But you're that kid, that 10-year-old with the skateboard hair that goes, I'm here, but I ain't speaking to nobody. I'm not speaking to it. And so I'm like, I got you. But see, I don't know your name because it doesn't tell me your names that are here. But I'm like, okay, there's 84 of you. I got to get you to respond because I don't want you to totally sit it out. You're dancing because you're here, but I want you to engage. It's important for you to make friends with people that are janked up just like you, okay? Because we all janked up, all right? So I put on the song, and I'm like, Simon Says dance. And this is what happened. There was probably 2 kids that were dancing. One was a little boy and one was a little girl. And I was like, just keep going, Judy. And I was like, I got to get them. I got to get them to get out of their comfort zone and quit worrying about what their friends think and zone on their Aunt Judy. And so when I said, it takes 2 to make a farm go right, how many? And this one kid went 2. And he was an older kid. He was probably 10 years old too. I said, dude, I went just like this. I said, dude, it's me and you. I want you to yell as loud as you can next time. And I go, it takes 2 to make a farm go right. How many? And this kid ripped up 2. And so once I got him zoned in, the other kids chimed in. And it was like there was 30 people there instead of 10. And of course, there's only 9 people in front of me, only 2 people dancing. But by the second course, I was able to engage them and get every single one of those kids to dance with me. As a matter of fact, we held a line because there was one kid that was breakdancing, because I always ask if there's a kid that knows how to breakdance. And there is always a kid in the bunch that knows how to breakdance, okay? So he was doing, he was doing all this stuff. And I said, God, dude, you're awesome. Because I have learned if you compliment the kid's strength, he will shine. And all the kids look at him and he's like popping. So I got the kids to stand in line and put their hands together and do the wave as I was going, it takes two to make a thing go right. And they were yelling too. And that one kid was sitting it out the entire time. The entire time. So when the song was over, I started handing out prizes. And I handed out a book. Everyone got an egg shaker. And gave everyone, normally I just give the kid a pass. But I gave every kid and their family a free pass to my farm. And so I did not leave the little boy that was sitting because he was shaking the egg. So I gave him a gift too. So then here comes Psycho Woman reading her book, because I will tell you, and some of you've seen me read the book, but you haven't seen me like read in front of a field trip. Like I'm very like I tell the story with expression, with, movement, with different tone. I'm making eye contact. Like I'm real. I have to do that or those kids will not pay attention to me. I've done it for long enough to know that I have to be crazy woman when I read the book to tell my story. But I read the story. They all paid attention to me. They were all like, no one was fidgeting. Everyone was like this. And so at the end of the book, I asked them, I say, I need to see who is paying attention. Tell me the 3 animals in my book that I did not get 2 of. Me. They're like dying to tell me. So then they tell me the tortoise. I said, that's right, because the tortoises don't get lonely. What other animal did I not get 2 of? And they're like, the cat. I'm like, yes, because they were sneaking and lurking where my baby chicks hatch. What was the other end? The donkey. I'm like, I didn't tell you why I didn't get 2 donkeys. So today, I want to tell you why I get 2 donkeys. And let me tell you something. I'm such an actor. I've seen my son on stage enough to know how to act. Okay. So I'm like, okay, this is the story. And I got my eyes like this because when I have expression and movement, they're like this. Even the ADHD kids are like, so I'm like, okay, this is the story. And I said, this is a true story. And this is a true story. I'm not making this up. I mean, this really is a true story. I said, my grandson Eli was in the house and I had just gotten Leroy. And then Eli said, hey, can I go out there and pet Leroy? And I said, oh, Eli, he's new to the farm. He's not going to come up to you. And Eli says, can I try? And then what he did was he was sneaking into the farm and he got on the knee and he put his hand out like this. And suddenly, y'all, you're not going to believe it. Leroy came up to Eli and I realized in that moment that he became best friends with someone that didn't look like him. Y'all, he wasn't the same color as him. He didn't speak the same language. When I act like that, those kids will so listen to me. And so I begin to tell them that. Are y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready for this? Okay, story was over. I told them about being a YouTuber and how people are mean to me every day, but people are nice to me every day, and how I have to concentrate on the good and not concentrate on the negative. So I taught them about when they're in school And people say they're ugly, or people say their hair stinks, or that people say they're fat, and how not to concentrate on all that negative, because that's what makes you sit it out. People will jack you up when they beat you up mentally and tell you you're not a sanctuary and your hair's a cheese ball and oh my gosh, you're a terrible. That makes you sit it out. But that's your fault because you're concentrating on all the negative. So I was able to talk to them about pulling their strength from people that are positive. So I began to tell them that. I began to tell them about being a YouTuber. So then they started engaging in questions. And they're like, I want to be a farmer when I'm old. Does it cost a lot of money? And so I was able to talk to them a little bit about being a farmer and how much it cost. And then this young girl said she wanted to be a YouTuber, and she asked me questions about being a YouTuber. And so I was able to answer questions. So then, are y'all ready for this? The 10-year-old with the skateboard hair said, will you play that song again? No. Let me back up. He didn't do that yet. I have learned that kids are just like me. If you bring a radio, a stereo with the microphone and let them karaoke with the microphone, you win. They're having a good time. Okay. If you don't know what to do and the animals start getting boring and they start getting fidgety, you go, what's your favorite song? Does anybody want the mic? Those kids will sing on that mic and they will dance and they will like karaoke like there's no tomorrow. And then they start fighting over wanting to be next. So that's what I started doing. I was like, and I was playing, you got a friend in me. And the kids, you got a friend. So they started that. So after that, I was about ready to leave. And then the skateboarder, the 10-year-old that was just shaking the egg, said, can you play that song again? And I said, what song? He goes, the song that It Takes Two. And I'm like, dude, I said, y'all want me to play that song? Can we do it again? They were asking me to dance, to play that It Takes Two again and to dance with them again. I was like, cha-ching! Like, I'm winning. So I said, yes. That 10-year-old with the skateboard hair that set it out stood up while everybody was around him and started breakdancing. He got on the floor and did that little spin where you spin on your back. And I was like, dude, I was like, this whole time you could do that? And he was like, I said, do it again. The whole song, I was going, it takes two to make a farm go right. How many? And everybody's screaming too. And that kid's in the middle of the floor breakdancing. I was like, wow, God. Oh my gosh. So I was able to get all 10 of those kids up dancing with me. And at the end, you know, I was getting my stuff to leave. The kid that was doing the break dance like this, he came and he was probably 4 or 5 years old. He wrapped his arms around my legs and said, you're the best Aunt Judy in the whole wide world. And I'm like, just like, I lost it. I was like, are you serious? Oh my gosh. And I sat there and thought in my head, I was thinking about children. I'm not even getting ready because I'm just talking. I was thinking about children, and I was thinking about adults, and I was thinking about my purpose. And, you know, like, I never know when I go in front of people if it's going to be a train wreck or if it's going to be positive. But I sat there and I was looking at all those kids. And, you know, I've said this before, but anytime someone comes to my farm or I go somewhere and people are sitting in front of me, just like today, there's now 102 people sitting here. I have no idea what you're going through. I have I have no idea if you're going through a divorce, or you've lost a child, or you're on the couch crying, or you've lost a loved one, you just lost your job, you can't figure out how to pay your power bill. I have no idea what y'all are going through. And I thought in my head, it's the same with my lives and my social media as it is with these children. I have no idea what their home life's like. I have no idea if they're picked on by other kids or they got low self-esteem. I have no parents going through a divorce. I have no clue, but I have one shot. And I have about a 30 to 45-minute window to make them smile, make them dance, and teach them the meaning behind dance. Teach them about showing kindness and not discriminating against people that are not like them. I have a short window of time to teach them that. And trying to engage people to listen to me feels scary sometimes. And again, it's like when I have big groups, when I look out there and let's just say, the time that I'm thinking about in my head was I had to speak and do my testimony. And when I talk about my testimony, it's my testimony with the experience of addiction. And y'all know I wear many hats in addiction. And there's a lot you don't know because I can't talk about. But I wear many hats in addiction. And I sat there in front of this big, huge, I don't know how many people were in front of me. I'm going to guess probably 300. And I had to sit there and give my testimony. And I didn't feel scared at all. When there's a small group, I feel scared to tell people I fight depression because you're scared of judgment. You're scared of what are these people going to think about me? Like, it feels like that. But I thought in my head when I was leaving there, I kept thinking about that little boy that wouldn't get up and dance. I mean, I played the whole song and he wouldn't dance. And at the end, he's spinning on his back doing breakdancing, and he was good. Like, I wasn't saying he was good and he was terrible. No, this dude knew how to break dance. This kid knew how to break dance. But he thought, a lot of times the older kids think that it's stupid to dance with this old lady. She's stupid. Like, and I'm okay with people sitting it out, as long as they shake the egg, I'm like, okay, I've done my job. They didn't feel like putting their whole dancing shoes on today, but there's days I don't feel like it. And I feel like it's okay. They are shaking the egg. Some days I only feel like shaking the egg. So I get you. But I don't give up. I keep trying. And the whole time that I'm doing it, I have eye contact on that kid to see what he's going to do. And I'm like, the whole time I'm like, you going to sit it out? You going to dance? You going to sit it out? You going to dance? You going to sit it out? You going to dance? I'm thinking that the whole time in my head. And when he started dancing, it was all I could do not to just cry, going, God, Oh my goodness. It was a beautiful day. And on the way home, I thought in my head, sometimes the hardest people to get to listen to you, and I think you're going to get me, is your own family. Because they know you. And so trying to get my family to dance is the hardest job I've ever done in my entire life. You know, trying to teach someone, let's just say their health is declining and they want to sit it out. They just want to die. They don't want to do what the doctor says, or they don't want to go to the doctor, or can't find anything good that's going on around them. I sit here and think in my head, I have talked until I'm blue in the face, trying to say, okay, instead of sitting here thinking everything is a train wreck, let's talk about the good things. What's going on good around you? Well, nothing's good going on around me. My life is over. Nothing is good. Okay. Well, let's talk about this. First of all, you're still alive. So there's a purpose for you being on earth, and you need to find your purpose. Just because your life is a train wreck right now doesn't mean you don't have a purpose. There's a purpose for your life. But when you try to sit here and tell y'all, I know y'all get me, because you might try to, like, you might have negative Nancy's in your family, or you're like, every Christmas, my sister's always late. You know what I mean? Like, and you're like trying to go, okay, let's tell her next year that Christmas starts at 10 o'clock and it's going to start at 12, but let's tell her 10 o'clock so she'll be here on time. I'm talking about, like, you have those family members and you're like, how does, like, for example, say it's your birthday and you're like, these people that have never laid eyes on me in person are making my birthday special. And my own family they sent me a text message, happy birthday. And you're like, these people that are total strangers, they have no clue anything about me, really, love me to death. And my own family, like, doesn't even send me a text message. Like that, they forgot it was my birthday. You know what I'm talking about? Do y'all ever do that? I'm going to tell you something. There is nothing that hurts you worse than your family rejecting you. It will haunt you. It will hurt you. You will be like my sister. Like, I hadn't seen my brother in 7 years, 8 years. The last time I saw my youngest brother, I've lived here for 5 years. I haven't seen him the whole time I've been here. April will be 6 years. I saw him the Thanksgiving before I moved. So 6 years, 6 or 7 years, the last time I saw my youngest brother. And the whole family, she's crazy. And I'm like, I'm crazy. Like, what have I done? What have I done, you know, and it will, there's nothing like the hurt of your child not talking to you. Shane and I experienced that. Don't think you're alone. Do not think you're alone at all. Grown children, we go through it. You know, the like not having your parents, you know, your parents have passed away. Hey, my mom and dad both left at a young age. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like for no one to make a big deal of anything that's special going on. Like sometimes, you know, I was looking, trying to figure out what I wanted to talk to y'all about today. And a lot of it, it's almost 8:00 and I'm sitting here talking, and the word validation will get you in so much trouble. And sometimes as human beings, we're looking for validation. We're looking for, you're doing a good job. You sure have, you know, man, you sure do. You've let your hair grow out, like noticing something. You've lost weight. You look so good. And when there's no validation from the people that have been around you, like your family, oh my gosh. But I'm going to tell you something. And you need, I'm feeling red. I'm feeling red today. So I want you to listen to me. I want you to listen to me. I know it hurts for family members to talk bad about you, to not come around you, to neglect, like not see what's going on. But listen to me. I promise you, if you feel like that, you are at a safe place here. This is like, to me, a sanctuary. There are these backup dancers, my followers, are here. I feel like, personally, that I have the best followers anybody has. There's people here. If you have no family at all, your spouse is ugly to you, your kids don't talk to you, whatever, you can't see your grandkids, whatever the situation is, I want you to know that you're not alone. There's 100 people here right now that's here to hold your hand, to go, you know what? Me too. And I'm here to tell you, me too. And this is a safe place to come. This is our little sanctuary, okay? This is our refuge. This is where you can get your love, okay? I know it feels weird to go, I don't know Lisa. I've never met Lisa a day in my life. You know what? That's the beauty about social media, is because when you're on social media and you watch, let's just say, Sneed's Farmhouse, and you're like, oh, there's Teresa. And then you go to Lester. Oh, Teresa's here. Hey, Teresa. And then maybe you go to Coghill and go, oh my God, Teresa's here. All of a sudden, you feel a connection with Teresa. And then you and Teresa start chit-chatting and you become friends. And it's crazy that you can be best friends with someone you've never met. You know what? I understand. I feel like I have best friends I've never met. And I'm like, one day I'm going to meet that person. One day I will. And I want you to know that in these mornings here on Sneed's Farmhouse, it is, no one's perfect here. No one's a goody-goody. No one is, we're all in the same, we're all on the same boat. And We're all on the same train. No, we're all on the same bus. Okay. We start off on the struggle bus. We get up, we're a train wreck. Mom, kids are mean to me. My dog, I don't know, pooped in the floor. Whatever. It's raining outside. It's affecting my depression. It's too hot to go outside, so I can't get outside and get some vitamin D. Whatever it is, you're not alone. We all struggle with something. We're all in this crazy world struggling. We're all trying to keep our head above water, okay? We all have different things that we struggle with, whether it's finances, whether it's depression, whether it's addiction, whatever. We're all struggling with something. But here at Sneed's Farmhouse, we're trying to get on the right bus and go forward. And the only way we can do that is to surround ourselves with people that point us in the right direction. That's the only way we can. And, I saw on one of my posts about the spider. It was a spider post on Facebook. And I was going, the itsy bitsy spider. And it was a spider that had made this beautiful web. Okay. And these two people were kind of fussing a little bit, because one of them wanted the spider dead and one of them said, no, it's a beautiful spider, leave it alone. And they kind of started fussing. And then all of a sudden, I can't remember who it was, but they corrected themselves and said, you know what? We both feel differently about this spider. You think it shouldn't be dead. I think it should be dead. Okay. Because I hate spiders, but it's okay. And it was a beautiful ending. It was argument in the beginning, and then it was a good ending. The person turned it around, and I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. And I will here to tell you that here at Sneed's Farmhouse, I try to encourage. We're not perfect, and sometimes we say things we don't mean. The good thing and the beauty about social media is we can go, oop, edit, or oop, let me take that back. Oop, I should have said that. Let me redeem myself. And sometimes when you're in person, you can't go, I need to edit what I just said. Can I delete it and let you not see it? Because you hadn't read it yet. You done said it when you're in person. You done had vomit of the mouth and you're a train wreck. So just know that, know that you're loved here. And, not that I'm a counselor. I ain't no trained professional. I'm just telling you how I got to where I am today. And I'm always having to check myself to how I'm always having to break things down because I interpret everything wrong. Everything. I take it to the extreme. I either hate his guts or love him to death. He's either the best husband in the world or I just cannot stand him. I want him to run like Forrest Gump. Get out of here. It's never I have to practice the balance and go, he's not the worst husband in the world. He's not the best. Well, he feels like the worst husband in the world. I have to do that all the time. And so do you. And this is a good place to do it. So I hope today, as I throw this mascara on, that you'll go dance in the rain. Okay, not physically dance in the rain. I have to physically dance in the rain, but you don't have to. You can dance on your couch and stay indoors. Stay in your pajamas today. It's raining. I don't know if it's raining at your house, but oh, that's not. What is this? I don't even know how to open it. Oh, wait. Oh, look. Whoa. I don't know about this, but I didn't know it just came from. Throw on your pink lipstick. Brush your tears off. Tell yourself it's going to be okay. And that your Aunt Judy loves you. I will see you next week. You have choices today. It's hump day. It's garbage day for me, so don't forget your garbage if it's garbage day. But you have choices in life. You can sit it out like that little boy with the skateboarder hairdo and just shake the egg. That's still dancing, but you can sit it out and not shake the egg. That's your choice. You can totally train wreck your day and go, this is going to be a bad day. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to cry. But I suggest setting a timer. Okay, Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes for me to cry. And set your timer and get up and dance. Okay, because those are your choices. You can sit and cry all day and feel sorry for yourself, or you can go, Judy, get up, put your pink lipstick on and dance. So I hope you dance. I will see you next week. Bye.